Yep, there is a gap between available jobs and job-ready candidates. There are jobs available, but employers are becoming much more selective about who they hire. A few years ago, many facilities were simply trying to fill positions. Today, employers are looking for candidates who bring reliability, flexibility, safety awareness, and productivity on their first day. What many of us applicants don't realize is that employers are often evaluating far more than just experience. I'm Marty, here with warehouse and operations as a career, so let's talk about that for a few minutes. I recently was enjoying a lunch with a longtime mentor, and the subject of hiring came up. He made a point I had to ponder on for a few moments. He commented that although training was expensive, and of course experience is important, he had learned or felt like in today's environment, things like attendance history, reliable transportation, and ability to be flexible with shift times, and a strong safety mindset, along with a willingness to cross-train, and at least average communication skills were what he was placing more weight on these days. And he made it a point to comment on what he'd look for first was a stable work history. The challenge for us applicants becomes, I can do the job is no longer enough. Employers are asking, can I depend on you to do the job consistently? And some other hurdles for us are just a few things I thought of. Start off with those pesky applicant tracking systems, or ATS. Many applicants never speak to a recruiter because their application gets filtered before a human ever sees it. And then wage expectations versus market rates. Applicants often see social media posts about higher wages, while many entry-level positions are paying less than expected. And I'm seeing more skilled equipment requirements. Many facilities now want forklift, reach lift, electric pallet jack, clamp truck, or inventory experience, even for positions that were once considered entry-level. And communication challenges. I hear this every day, and I think both sides are probably guilty. But recruiters frequently comment on the struggle to reach applicants who don't answer calls, have full voicemail boxes, and don't respond to text or emails. Then we have competition for better candidates. When 10 applicants apply for a position, employers often choose the one with better attendance, longer tenures at places, and the better interviewing skills. Now, the good news is that the hurdle is also the opportunity. A candidate who shows up on time, returns calls, has a positive attitude, accepts coaching, prioritizes safety, is willing to learn additional equipment can often outperform applicants with years more experience. As we've discussed many times on WAOC, the industry still offers tremendous career opportunities. The challenge isn't necessarily finding a job, it's demonstrating that you're the person an employer can trust with the opportunity. So, if there's applicants looking for work and employers looking for workers, why are they not connecting? Well, I think the hiring game has changed. 20 years ago, many warehouses and production facilities hired almost entirely on experience. Could you drive a forklift, pull an order, load a trailer, or operate a machine? If the answer was yes, there was a pretty good chance you'd get hired on the spot. Today, things are just different. Most employers are still looking for skills, but they're looking for something else first. They're looking for dependability, they're looking for consistency, and they're looking for people they can count on. I've sat across the table from hundreds, maybe even thousands of hiring managers throughout my career, and I can tell you something that might surprise us as applicants. Many managers would rather hire a dependable employee with less experience than an experienced employee they're not sure can be counted on. Think about that for a moment. The employee who shows up every day, arrives on time, follows instructions, works safely, and wants to learn often become more valuable than the person with years of experience but poor attendance or maybe a negative attitude. Now let's talk about the first hurdle many applicants never even see. the applicant tracking system, or ATS. Years ago, an application landed directly on someone's desk. Today, many applications are screened by software before a recruiter ever sees them. A computer may be reviewing your application before a human being does. Now, I'm not saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's just reality. If your work history is incomplete, if your resume doesn't match the position, or if key information is missing, you may never make it to the interview stage. Many applicants think nobody called me. The reality may be nobody ever saw the application. That's why accuracy on our part matters. Taking an extra few minutes to complete an application correctly matters. And that's why we should tailor our resume to the position we're applying for. Now let's talk about what employers are really seeking. Most people think employers hire labor. I don't. I think employers hire reliability. Let's say I have two candidates. Candidate A has 5 years of forklift experience. Candidate B has 1 year of forklift experience. Most people automatically assume candidate A gets the job. What if candidate A has changed jobs every 3 months and has attendance concerns and arrives late to our interview? But candidate B has a solid work history, great references, and arrives 15 minutes early. The decision suddenly becomes much harder. In fact, many employers will choose candidate B because skills can be taught. Reliability is much harder to teach. Here's another challenge I see every day. Applicants submit applications. Recruiters call. Nobody answers. Recruiters text. No response. Recruiters email. No reply. A few days later, the applicant says, nobody contacted me. Now, I'm not picking on anyone, but communication matters. If you're actively looking for work, we need to answer our phone, check our voicemails, and respond to texts, and watch our email. I've seen qualified candidates lose opportunities simply because another applicant responded first. Speed matters in recruiting, especially in warehousing and manufacturing. Sometimes positions are filled within hours, not days, not weeks, literally just hours. Transportation is often part of the interview before the interview. Can you reliably get to work? Can you make a 5 a.m. shift? Can you work overtime? Can you handle weekends when required? Employers understand, of course, that life happens. Cars break down, traffic exists, emergencies occur. But employers are also trying to determine whether attendance problems are likely to become a pattern. Remember, attendance drives productivity, and productivity drives customer satisfaction. And customer satisfaction keeps facilities open and growing. Again, everything is connected. Another thing I'm seeing is that years ago, some facilities focused heavily on production. Today, safety and production must work together. Most employers are looking for candidates who understand safety expectations. They want applicants who wear PPE correctly, follow procedures, report hazards, work safely around equipment, and take training seriously. The old mindset of, I've been doing this for 20 years, doesn't impress many employers anymore. The new mindset is, I've been doing this for 20 years and I'm still learning. That's the employee organizations want. Safety-conscious employees protect themselves, their co-workers, and the company. And I think another hurdle for us is technology. Today we have RF scanners, warehouse management systems, voice picking systems, tablets, inventory software, electronic inspections, and productivity tracking. Some applicants become nervous when they hear the word technology, and we can't. All systems can be learned. The bigger issue is willingness, I think. Employers aren't necessarily looking for technology experts. Again, they're looking for people willing to learn. A positive attitude towards technology often beats resistance every time. I just think competition is stronger than ever. You're not competing against the job, you're competing against other applicants. Imagine 10 people apply for the same position. Who gets the interview and the offer? Often, it's the candidate who demonstrates better attendance, better communication, better attitude, better stability, and better preparation. Notice that experience isn't the only factor. Sometimes it isn't even the most important factor. The candidate who prepares wins. The candidate who follows up and demonstrates professionalism wins. A recruiter told me last week, if I could set every applicant down and share one message from employers, it would be this: we want to hire you. Now think about that. Recruiters don't wake up hoping positions stay open. Supervisors don't want to work short-staffed. Managers don't enjoy running operations with vacancies. Everyone wants positions filled, but employers need confidence. Confidence that we'll show up. Confidence that we plan on staying. Confidence that we'll work safely and represent the organization well. That's what they're evaluating. Not just whether we can do the work, but whether they can trust us with the work. So what can us applicants do? I think it's simple. We own it. We need to show up early. We need to dress appropriately. If we're interviewing as an equipment operator or selector, wear our steel or composite toe footwear. We have to answer our phone and return calls. The hiring agent may be making 50 calls. The next person may answer theirs. And it's so important that we bring energy to interviews. And we're honest about our experience and demonstrate willingness to learn. Show our enthusiasm, ask questions, express interest in advancement. Employers love hearing things like, I'd like to learn more. I'd like to cross-train. I'd like to grow into a lead role someday. Those statements communicate commitment. And like we've learned, commitment gets attention. As we wrap up today's episode, I'd like to leave you with a challenge. If you've been applying for jobs and not getting results, don't immediately assume there are no opportunities. Ask yourself a different question. Am I making it easy for an employer to hire me? Am I communicating effectively? Am I presenting myself professionally? Am I demonstrating reliability? Am I showing a willingness to learn? It's just a fact in today's world. Employers are looking for more than experience. They're looking for trust. They're looking for consistency. They're looking for commitment. The jobs are out there. The opportunities and careers are out there. Not to sound corny, but the question isn't always whether the job is available. The question is, are you available for the job? Okay, we're running over today, so with all that being said, I'll say thank you for joining me today, and please share any thoughts on job opportunities with our Facebook group using that little @ WHSEOPS or our Instagram feed, WAOC Podcast. Until next time, be safe, stay productive, and keep building your career.